Welcome to the Blue Cafe. Due to technical difficulties, Ben, your regular host, will not be available. My name is Daniel, and I will be your host today. Now, on to today's story. Online Journal Day 40. What's going on? So, we'll start with me and my wife. Amy and I have been talking 3 or 4 times a week now via Zoom. We have begun working out together on camera and just interacting. She still has these moments where she just stops and apologizes, looking like she is going to cry. I told her that we're working on us and that she should focus on that. That's what I'm focusing on. She asks me about how I feel and how I see her a lot. Questions I never want to answer. I told her we ain't been trying to reconcile for more than a month. That I ain't been in therapy much more than a month. I can't tell her what she wants to hear, which is that I don't have mental lapses where I imagine her betrayals and worse vividly and it makes me sick to my stomach. I am working on it, but it's not going to turn off. She tries to soldier through it, but I can see it hurts her. But I'm not about to lie about it. I don't want to punish her constantly, but I'm not going to be dishonest about my feelings. It's counterproductive to what we're attempting. I still have a problem listening to her talk about it. She takes full responsibility, or says so, but still says things like she got caught up or that she doesn't know how she was so stupid, which seem like she's skirting the fact that she made choices, decisions, over and over. It's not like she didn't think them through, but that little annoyance is one I keep to myself. Cause all that will do will make our interactions unpleasant. Clarissa has been getting therapy. She has called me a few times apologizing for her behavior, because people have accused me of instantly making her the focus of my anger after her revelations. I decided to make an effort not to be cold and bitchy to her, though I do kind of feel a lot of resentment for her that I apparently never got over. At least that's what the working theory is. I will admit that I'm bitter about how Clarissa did me back in college. During our friendship, I didn't really worry about it because I was with Amy. She didn't like me that way and the relationship we had was good. But to find out she did like me, but was just super shallow, and really only wanted me as a fallback option, does make me incredibly angry. What parts of the following friendship were real and what parts were you just, I don't know, fake? Obviously I can't tell when people are genuine or not, so everything is suspect to me. Everyone is suspect to me. Despite what some folks have said, I'm still monitoring certain correspondences. I have chilled watching out on Mimi and Buff Doug, but other Doug is looking into my wife and Clarissa. Clarissa pretty simple since she is on my network with her laptop and phone. This is why it's hard for me to stop being bitter at Clarissa. To me, she says all the right things, and I imagine she is doing so with everyone else. But with her friend, Nessa, whom I've never met, but have known of for a while, she has been texting and saying things that upset me. Like how she wasn't the kind of woman that deserve a guy like me when she was young, but she would have grown up. That everyone is shallow when they are young and she still blames Amy for stealing me. Like she really thinks I would have waited for her to get her head out of her ass. I firmly believe had I been the kind of guy who would have done that, she would have seen me as weak and would have never grown to like me. I think what she likes is that I had enough dignity to move on from her. Would never have worked between us. Cool thing about Nessa, I don't know if she's black or not, but she sounds it. Cause she doesn't take no shit. Most of what she says is shit I would say, but she is stone cold about it. She drops more than enough N-bombs without concern and her manner of speech or what I can tell from text leads me to believe she is a sister. Like she said, and I'm paraphrasing, bitch, you best get your mind right. You didn't give a shit about that nigga till your sister had him. Accuses Clarissa of taking a closer look at me only because I was no longer available and there was no risk and found out that I had everything she wanted. Then called her a skinny bitch and told her she need to get her mind right. Was very hostile. But both girls are hostile with one another or seem that way. But they laugh it out. Like a lot of lols and stuff. I know I should probably not be snooping like this. I'll probably stop but not right now. Amy's texts have been vanilla, though I found out the guy contacted Mimi cause Amy's blocked him on everything and Mimi asked Amy what she wanted to tell him. Amy said to tell him not to contact her and that he almost ruined her life. Mimi won't be camming for a while herself. which I wanna say I think is a good thing. But I wonder if that's just my own kind of prudish nature. I've never been, I wanna say hip, but that's so old. I'm kind of corny and not with the times. So I guess I'm not in a good place to judge. Though I will say I'm happy her and Buff Doug are on the mend. Home Paris is back over my house. She hadn't been for a few days, but asked mom if she could stay in the guest room. She would pay rent. My mom agreed, but is saving the rent money to give back to her. My uncle gave London the money to get that place she wanted, with a string attached that she go to therapy. London has apparently been making an effort to talk to him more and be apologetic, though she refuses to talk about her own father. That man is gone in the wind again. I think he was spooked cause Uncle Brad was asking around trying to find him, but I got no first-hand knowledge on that and Paris doesn't either. Paris has been a bit moppy because Renaissance guy only likes her as an online friend or in-game girlfriend and has a real relationship IRL with someone who doesn't share his interest. I'd be lying if I didn't wonder how such a man was such a hot commodity, but I have no idea what women find attractive. Other than that shit's been decent. There was a kerfuffle at a birthday dinner recently cause I didn't get London and Paris equal gifts. But I'm pretty sure I'm not the asshole cause London don't deserve shit from me. But I got her a gift card. I got Paris 2 Ruby statues. I'd ordered them weeks ago. So, hey, I'm feeling better and there's some positive progress with me and my wife so I'm happy about that. I'm still very weary of everything. I don't think that's gonna go away anytime soon. Online Journal Day 41. The Curious Case of London. Long. A few things happened that I would like to talk about. I ran into an ex and I really wanna talk about that because despite trying to be a sensible human being, this girl hurt me and my petty side flares up as I'm kinda very happy about her current situation. I wanna talk about some BOTW stuff. I really wanna talk about recent events cause I smoke marijuana for the first time in life. Danny asked me to smoke with her. I'm normally pretty lame about that stuff. But no. Today will be about London. Holy shit, London threw me a curveball. So, we'll start with the text. I get a text from London, who really shouldn't have my number, but whatever. Says in trouble. Please help. Has her address. My first thought is, the audacity of this bitch. I text her back asking what's wrong. I want to ask why she is asking me for help, but I'm not really wired like that. If it's something serious then I don't really wanna be an asshole. I mean I want to be an asshole, but I won't. Sidebar. Let me clear something up about so-called nice guys. First off, no nice guy refers to themselves as such. That's a red flag. That's someone who is advertising and you only advertise if you're selling something, which means you expect payment for what you're selling. So, don't give me that nice guys bullshit that's been floating around. The guys who advertise are so obviously grifters using a shtick it's not funny. With that said, let me tell you a nice guy, a real nice guy, an average guy, an asshole, and a predator all kind of have the same wants and desires. Listen, no guy doesn't have similar human goals. What determines whether or not they are a good person is how they go about getting it and how they prioritize those wants and needs versus the respect and candor they show others. So yes, all guys want sex. It's not all we want. Newsflash. All girls want sex too. Now, sex has nothing to do with the following situation, but this is the most common thing I hear when men are decried. We're human. 90% of us are pursuing emotional, financial, and sexual gratification. It's how most of us are wired. What determines the quality of a person's character is how they prioritize this and how they act with empathy and consideration of the priorities, wants, and needs of others. Not whether or not they want that. Cause they do want that. It's just not the only thing they want. Selfish desire isn't their driving force. Okay, I bring this up because I've been told I'm a nice guy. I do not agree. One, because I see how so-called nice guys act, and how true nice guys like some of my friends get shitted on. I do not want that moniker. I am empathetic and I believe I have a sense of integrity that do not let me put my desires ahead of the morals I was taught. This is 3 paragraphs to explain just why I didn't respond to this girl with ha 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 ha. Sucks to be you. I instead sigh and respond with, "What's it?" Which she replies immediately, that she needs me to come over and help her with something sensitive. I want to ask if there is anyone else that can help her. Her boyfriend perhaps, but then realize he might be the problem. Paris has spoken about him being handsy and kind of a creep, and I really ain't hit nobody in a while, and to be honest that would just make my damn day. I instead ask if this is something that needs to be discreet, to which she replies yes, and says, she knows she has no right asking me for anything, but she does need me. Now, I know what people want to say. Not my bad, not my problem. This person doesn't deserve an iota of my time. This is all true and I will not argue here, but it is how I am wired. My uncle would go at least see what the problem was. My dad would at least go see what the problem was. These men have been men in my eyes, and despite everything I look up to the examples they set. So begrudgingly I went to go see what the problem was. At first, I thought the problem was that she had all these large boxes and bullshit her little ass couldn't move. She's prepping for her move to her new place and just packing stuff. I'm furious cause she has any number of sycophants that would kill to help her in that way. But that isn't what she wants. After I pack some shit, move some shit, and been there like an hour grumbling, she kind of takes me by the hand and tells me she didn't want my help with the boxes. She says she wanted to talk. We sit down on the couch and I tell her if she's gonna apologize for the birthday fiasco then she can save it. I'm over it. I'm not. And she just needs to try to be more realistic with her expectations. She looks really sad and looks away, then she smiles and tells me she knew I would come. I asked what she meant and she says that I always come. She says that's why Paris thinks so much of me, and even though she doesn't show it, she respects me, because I always come. She said I'm a nice guy and a good person and she kind of always disliked me for it, but also respected me for it. I was confused at this point, but I didn't speak. London said I was always smiling. I was always happy. On the outside, my life was great. I went to a nice school. I lived in a nice house. I had neat stuff. But she remembered I never had any friends and that I would always get picked on. She said she knew about some of the stuff I went through. My uncle would talk about it with her mother. She would hear me crying to him on the phone. I told her she hasn't any idea about half of what I actually went through. She says that's the point. I was still a happy, smiling person. And I always came when they needed me. When anyone needed me. She said she used to resent me for it. Like, what did I have to be happy about? She said I would always come if they needed me, but after Brianna was born, that was it. I stopped actually trying to be friends or family with them. I came when they called, but I stopped doing stuff like inviting them to my birthday, or when I went to the movies, or to come over and play games. I just stopped putting in the effort. I reminded her that she never wanted to come to anything she was invited to and pointed out the time she was invited to Discovery Zone and showed her ass. Turn off phrase. She didn't literally show her ass. She apologized and said she really didn't like me then. Cause I was just too happy. I reminded her of my uncle. She was a real brat and bitch to him and he would just smile. She would break things, do stuff, intentionally antagonize him and he would just smile. Like he refused to see that she didn't like him, that she didn't want him there. He would just act out and he would either ignore it, or try harder to be her friend. I was the same for a while. Then Brianna was born and she realized that she missed the attention. She told me that her and Paris talked about me a lot. I never knew that Uncle Brad had tried a lot to get them to connect with our other cousins and that was apparently a shit show. The only one of our cousins she got along with was Poot, which makes sense, I knew Poot liked them. Poot is a little younger than me. When she said she and Poot used to fool around, I wasn't really surprised. Poot's engaged to a girl that's a lot like London. I don't care for her either. I didn't ask what and when. I just let her talk. She said she had been a bit sad cause Poot was nice to her, but kinda always just wanted to fool around. She said she didn't mind cause he is hot, but everyone else made it very clear how unwelcome they were, and she had really tried to be liked, but they were pretty mean to her, especially Samantha after she found out her and Poot were experimenting. I didn't want to ask the obvious. Why is she telling me all this? I just let her ramble on until she came back around to me. She said that she actually liked me. That she didn't know she liked me until I stopped ducking with her. That I was like the big brother she never had and that she didn't see it at the time. But then she got to see it with Brianna. She said she had tried a few times to be nice to me, to try to make up for what she did, but I would brush her off. I wasn't interested in trying anymore. She said she will never forget when she was in high school and I had come by and I brought Brianna all these toys from my trip to Japan. Brianna had asked if I would take her to see Japan one day and I told her of course. When she asked me if she could come, I just laughed at her and said no, really bluntly. She said that was the day she realized she couldn't fix anything. I was so cold. But then she had gotten in trouble at that party over by Bayview, and she was tripping, and she called me and I came. I didn't tell on her. I helped her through it. She said I would only come when I thought she was in trouble. So she would call me when she was in trouble and for those moments she would have the old me back. I would be concerned about her. I would care, even if she didn't deserve it, even if she was high and said nasty things. She said I wasn't my uncle. I wasn't making nice so that her mom would be happy, trying to be the good stepdad so everyone would keep the peace. I didn't owe her anything and I wasn't going to take her shit. So when I came for her, it was because I genuinely cared. I wasn't like Poot or the guys in her life, her backstabbing friends, or London who was obligated to care cause they were blood. I just came. She cried and said she knows she's not a good person. She said she knows she's ducked up. She belongs in therapy because no matter what she gets, she's not happy. But she was happy I cared and she was jealous because I forgave Paris and we're all buddy, and I wouldn't forgive her. I asked her if she was actually sorry for anything she did or said, or if she just wanted to get the perceived benefits of having a big brother. She said of course she is sorry. She said she doesn't know why she says mean things to me. She said she felt like a complete bitch throwing my weight and my issues with my wife in my face. She said she spends a lot of time asking herself why she lashes out, why she says stuff, why she does some stuff. She doesn't mean it and she regrets it almost instantly, but she can't apologize. People will think she is disingenuous. No one will believe she didn't mean it. She knows she's unpleasant to be around. She knows Chad only likes her because of her looks and because she's not a prude, but she doubts he likes who she is. She doesn't even like who she is. I tell her then she needs to change. No use griping about a problem that you won't do anything about. She yells it's not that easy, but I calmly remind her I never said it was. I tell her it's hard and if she's doing it so I will like her, or someone else will like her, it won't work. Cause you got to want to improve for yourself and your own sense of well-being. She talks a whole lot about other folks and situations, but I've never once known what she wanted out of life. I don't really know her, just this monster that she presents to me. She says she wants to stop pushing people away. She wants to stop being seen as this unlikable bitch. She said, if she was ugly, she would have no friends. She knows people forgive her because she's pretty and financially well off. But that eventually isn't enough to keep people around. I want to bring up her sleeping with her friends, boyfriends, or any number of terrible things I'd heard. But I couldn't figure a way to insert that without it seeming like I'm just being mean and petty. So instead I just told her she's gotta want to do better and act on it. No one's expecting her to change overnight. She asked if it was too late for her to make up things with me. She said she wants to have what Brianna has, what Paris seems to be getting. They are my cousins. I love and care about them. She said I see her as an obligation, a problem that needs to be solved. She just wants to be a person again. I told her I didn't know. I told her that I don't hate her, but I genuinely don't like her. She can't be this person she is and have me see her as anything but a bitch tornado. I then asked why she and Paris are fixated on me. I don't remember being that important to anyone and she looked at me funny. She said I used to come over to their house at least twice a week. I used to help with homework, science projects. I used to go to her soccer games. I taught Paris how to drive, which she was jealous of cause I wouldn't teach her. I used to buy them birthday and Christmas gifts that I helped them get in and enjoy Girl Scouts, cause I was in the Boy Scouts. She said I used to be there and then one day I just wasn't. I still came over, but I would help Joyce with the baby, or I would babysit at my house. She said that as Brianna got older and I got older, I would interact with them less and less. They became second-class citizens in my eyes. I told them that had more to do with how unappreciative and bitchy her and Paris were to me than Brianna. And then I pointed out some of the nasty things they didn't to Brianna that made me not want to duck with them even more. She apologized and like Paris, I told her I'm not the one you need to say sorry to. She asked if she could try to make it up to me. I asked why she would want to, but she didn't have an answer. She just cried on me. I held her and she cried and she fell asleep. I sat there for a bit and wondered what the hell happened to my life. I know she poured her black little heart out to me, but I couldn't help but be a little selfish. Like, where was my pillar? Who do I get to cry my eyes out to? And why am I so damn important to people who never gave a shit? Now, I got mad. I got mad at London. I got mad at Paris, Mimi, Amy, Clarissa. I got mad at Clarissa and Amy's parents. They never once said they wanted me as part of their family before this fiasco. They were really standoffish with me for years. I'm not saying they were racist. Far from it. Just didn't seem to like their little girl's choice of boyfriend. But now, when everything is falling apart, I have value. Amy didn't think I had value while she was out there showing her pussy to strangers. You can say what you want, but she knew while she was doing it there was a real chance the relationship could end because of it. She was willing to take that risk. All of a sudden, I got value to Clarissa, the bitch who could have had me at any point in college, but showed me that I certainly wasn't good enough for her. Why would I ever want to be with someone so shallow and selfish? Like, yeah, we were friends for years. But if I'm honest, I enjoyed every second that my relationship with Amy was better than any relationship she ever had. Like, we were friends cause I could no longer see her as a woman or as a romantic being after how she did me in college. The idea that I would ever forgive that, or ever want this woman after that is laughable. I don't want to be mad at Paris. She's trying so hard, but she represents this weird happening of people who do not deserve my time and effort wanting it. People over and over in my life who had my full measure, had my care, loyalty, friendship, and trust, and shitted on it, willfully and maliciously, and now they want to make up. They want to be forgiven. Paris and London aren't the same as Clarissa and Amy. They are not lovers who jilted me and now want to make up and have something resembling all of my love and care, but it's a little worse. They are like siblings who spent a childhood and life being asses and now want to play happy family. Like, I watched those Disney movies, Cinderella sequels with Brianna. I really hated the one where the evil stepsisters came back and were all sorry and forgiven and shit and they made up. Like, people aren't really like that. Oh, now that the stepmom is gone, I wanna blame all of our actions on her and I have no accountability. Forgive me and let me have a nice life cause kindness and forgiveness is the way. Bad people count on good people to forgive and be soft and weak. That's how they thrive. I have a hard time wanting to forgive because of that. London needs therapy, no doubt. Paris has been in therapy and is now going regularly. I definitely still need therapy and have been going. But nothing has yet made me any less angry about all this. This feeling like people can just duck up, over and over, then ask for a do-over. If I ducked up like this, if I was shitty to people, no one would forgive me. No one would be concerned with why I was being shitty. I'd just be an asshole. No one would give me a second thought. They'd delete me from their mind. Why is it different with all these other people? We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a good day or night, wherever you are.